gun control from a child's perspective. Could you imagine the message that a classroom, a school, and then a nation of children get when a supposedly highly educated teacher yanks a child from a class because his pastry quasi looked like a gun? This is a highly educated teacher who now made a scene, punished a child for having something that looked something like a gun. What do the children think about this? A teacher who is supposedly intelligent is thinking that a third grade child is such a threat with a pastry in the wrong shape. I don't understand how any child is going to get a positive message from this. Now, we have a government who is also telling these same children that mom and dad are not qualified to protect you. It is the government you should look to protect you. The government, by the way, composing of Joe the Baboon Biden, telling people that you should go out on the balcony and fire off 2 rounds of a shotgun to scare intruders away. As if the intruders sit out on the street and announce that they're there and they're coming in. So you have time to shoot off a shotgun. Biden's a bloomin' idiot. Listen to some of the things that comes out of this guy's mouth. There's something wrong with him. He's got mental issues. To say that a shotgun is easier to handle for a woman than an AR-15, and AR doesn't stand for assault rifle, people. That's just a label that the government puts on it to give it a black, scary name. Listen now, because children are listening and they're watching. And what message are they getting when Chris Rock stands up in front of the nation and says, we need to stand behind Barack Hussein Obama and his wife as if they were the mother and father of the nation? They're going to protect us now. Mommy and daddy aren't qualified anymore. What message are we sending to our kids? This is insane. This is really insane. To say that you can't trust your mother and father. Now they want children to tell on mommy and daddy if they have weapons in their house. What message is this? Are we living in Russia? Are we living in Nazi Germany? Show me your papers? You know, we have 13 million illegal aliens in this country and they're not asked to show their papers? We have an illegal alien Muslim in our White House who wasn't asked to show his papers. But now mommy and daddy are going to have to show their papers on, their ammo purchases, if they sold a gun to one of their family members, so they might protect themselves. Maybe they want to hand down a weapon to their children that, have been around the weapon their whole life. What message are we sending to our children? When a member of the government, Dianne Feinstein, every time you see this woman who is shouting the loudest about assault weapons control, every time children see this woman, she's a beast. She's not a woman. This woman is a beast. She espoused carrying guns when it was okay for her because she was scared at night going to visit her husband in the hospital. This is an elitist. She doesn't want anybody else to carry the same weapons that she carried. We're dangerous, but she's not. What message are our kids getting, really? When Feinstein, every time you see her, and this is why I say she's a beast, look at every picture of this woman holding an assault rifle. Every child who has been around weapons, who has parents who are around weapons, learns. The very first thing they learn, you never put your finger on the trigger until you're ready to use the weapon. But look at every photograph of Feinstein. She's got her finger all over the trigger, She looks like she's spraying the room with the assault weapon in her hands. She's the dangerous one, not mom and dad. But yet the government's trying to tell your children to look out for you, mom and dad. We have to teach our children something different. They're getting indoctrinated. When Chris Rock stands up and tells us that mommy and daddy said so we should just listen, or else we'll get bit in our ass, I don't know. Something's seriously wrong. This is obvious propaganda. Why is Obama spending so much time with all of these people in Hollywood who then turn around and espouse his nonsense on the nation? Trying to indoctrinate our kids to trust the government more than they trust mommy and daddy. What kind of message does a child get when we hear a news story where an intruder broke into mom's house, she had young children with her, and she had a weapon? Now, she shot this man 5 times. 5. And he still kept coming at her. He didn't know the weapon was empty, and she told him, "You keep coming, I'm shooting again." He left. 5 times and he left. But in Dan, my boy Malloy's world, he wants to restrict how many bullets somebody can have in their own house, a law-abiding citizen, to protect themselves, their family, and their property. He thinks that, 6 bullets should be enough for anybody. Joe Biden runs his mouth, if you can't hunt with less than 3 bullets, then, you're not a hunter. Well, who said that every homeowner who wants to protect their property is a hunter in the first place? Second place, show me hunting anywhere in the Constitution or the Second Amendment. But beside the point, we're talking about the message our children are getting from our government, trying to grab our guns from us, law-abiding citizens who have done nothing wrong. I don't understand how apathetic Americans are sitting back and letting the government teach our children this, to look out for us, their parents. We're the bad guy. So a man breaks into a woman's house with her children. She shoots him 5 times. He still walks away. And they think that if you look at the facts, a home invasion, the average home invasion is perpetrated by 3. Count them, 3 or more perpetrators. And unlike what Joe Biden tells you, they don't sit out on the street and announce their presence that they're coming in. So you don't have time to grab that shotgun, load her up, shoot a couple rounds off on the balcony, and maybe scare them away. Those 3 people now know that your rifle is empty. They're coming in, Joe. That's why you're a baboon. That's why you're an idiot. You ought to just shut your mouth. You're supposed to be educated in gun control and gun violence, and you don't know this fact. The fact that the average home invasion is perpetrated by 3 or more criminals who don't follow the law, so they're not going to have 6 rounds or less, or 10 rounds or less, or 2 magazines, or 1 magazine. They're coming fully loaded to do damage, to do harm. But you want to restrict the homeowner, the law-abiding citizen, to 6 or less, and, are you crazy? I want to shoot as many rounds at these people as it takes to put them down, stop them in their tracks. All 3. Where's the logic? What message are our kids getting? Don't trust mommy and daddy. Trust the government. Really? Ever since old Bunghole has been in our office, yeah, it's ours, and he's a usurper. It doesn't belong to him, and we need to take it back. Why don't you try to count the lies? They're immeasurable. You can't count all the lies he's told. Obamacare. This is an abysmal travesty to our healthcare system. What message are our children getting? Can't find a full-time job because Obamacare costs too much for an employer to supply. So if he keeps everybody on part-time pay, well, it takes it off of their back. You people really need to look into something that anybody signs into law without reading it. And these people are supposed to represent you. What message does a child get from these people? Just, you need to listen to us, you need to do what we say, or you're the bad guy. Mom and dad are the bad guy, remember that. The government is trying to make mom and dad the bad guy. Remember, it's gone so far that a child with a pastry in the obscure form of a gun gets suspended from school in front of the class, in front of the school, in front of the nation. What message are we sending to our kids? Gun control? No. It's people control. Plain and simple. We need to ask questions, people. We need to ask questions.